What if I told you there is one specific secret to success as a graphic designer, and there is one crucial thing that every top tier designer knows about and actually uses to create functional graphic designs? So yeah, welcome back to Satori Graphics. I am aware that it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort and patience to become successful in this industry of graphic design. I've come to the age of 31 years old, and so that means I've been a graphic designer for around 15 years. But yeah, I've made it in this industry. I've made logo designs for fashion labels, I've also made logo designs for film companies and so much more. But I'm here today to divulge a crucial secret, if you will, that's really going to change the way you look at graphic design and change the way you approach your own designs. Before I divulge the main secret for a successful and a functional graphic design, let's quickly remind ourselves of what exactly graphic design is. At its most basic level, graphic design is a creative process that combines the visual arts and technology to communicate ideas. It begins with a message that, in the hands of a talented designer, is transformed into visual communication that transcends mere words and pictures. So graphic design is essentially visual communication, which is in fact hugely important to keep in mind, and we're now going to explore just why. So if you are watching this video, there's a good chance that you are a graphic designer or a designer of some sort. And so with that being true, what else is also true that goes with that statement is that you are a manipulator. Yeah, that's right. I'm not insulting you here. I'm just stating a fact. You are a manipulator or an influencer. You need to create professional tools of manipulation. You are supposed to create visual communication that influences people's actions and also their thoughts. Now stick around because this is important. Now we've just seen that graphic design is simply just visual communication, and the biggest secret in functional design is that you want to manipulate an emotional response in the end user of your designs. Now we're going to soon look at different ways that you can do just that. But first, why is that? Why do you want to emotionally trigger the consumers of your graphic designs? Well, because when people are triggered emotionally to feel a very specific kind of way, you can then drive their thoughts and their actions in the desired direction. The truth is that the majority of decisions are made based on how you feel at the time. Psychologists have actually found that humans think second and feel first. So a large majority of spending decisions are in fact impulsive. And this is why companies like to tap into the emotional parts of our brain and influence us in this way. So now you understand that as a graphic designer, you do have the job description of being a professional manipulator. Let's take a look at some of the strongest ways to cause an emotional response via your graphic designs. So studies have shown that colour triggers a very specific response within the human brain. And in knowing this, designers and branding agencies can manipulate a consumer by stirring up emotions when looking at specific products or designs. Now, one of the easiest and the most fundamental methods for manipulating the end user in a subconscious way is through the use of colour. Colour has a strong psychological hold on people, and there is actually a definite correlation between colour and also feeling. So for example, a lot of designers will use greens and browns when designing organic packaging or designs. And this is going to make consumers feel as if they're purchasing a product straight from the earth. It's something natural and untainted. The colour blue is very calming and reassuring, and this evokes a sense of security and trust within people who see it. And this is why you see so many financial companies utilizing blue as the main focus for their branding designs. It effectively just renders the consumer feeling that their money is in safe hands on a subconscious level. When making a design, always keep in mind the end consumer of your graphic designs and try to tap into their ideologies and how they think, and then that's going to dictate the color that influences their decisions. Now I will leave some links down below about each color and its psychological connotation if you want to read further into this. Now, one method for influencing decisions through your design is to directly express a specific emotion. This is often used in things like advertising campaigns, but it can actually be expressed more subtly across other areas of graphic design. So things like fear, humor, affection, and surprise are all strong emotional triggers that can be utilized within a graphic design. The designer needs to think very carefully about using this technique because it is very powerful and it can give off the wrong message if done incorrectly. Now, fear is used in such things like drink driving campaigns or anti-smoking adverts. They deliver a kind of shock value which taps into the fear section of the brain of the person who's viewing it. So this can be done with imagery itself, but also more deeply than that, the color choices of the design, the font selection, and even the shapes used are all going to tap into the subconscious of the viewer. Which then brings me on to the next point in today's video. Now, typography is in fact a huge part of graphic design, and top tier and experienced graphic designers know this. But why is it so important? Why is typography so crucial to the success of a graphic design? Well, the style of the font will evoke an emotional and a subconscious reaction to the viewer. Every font has a specific look and the aesthetics of it give off a certain kind of vibe. Now just forget about the actual wording and what it means for a moment. Take a look at the actual structure of the lettering itself. Lowercase typography tends to be more informal and more personal. Bold, uppercase sans serifs tend to be more impacting, loud, as well as being bold. Calligraphic fonts can portray a sense of superiority and class, but they're also handwritten, which comes across as more genuine and original. So my point here is that your choice of font is always going to impact the consumer in some emotional way, and that is if they realize it or not. You don't want to give the wrong message with the wrong font choice. Just like with choosing the color, think about the message of the design itself and also the end user and their ideologies. Now, I've gone over these things in videos before, but to quickly recap in this video, and so firstly we have call to actions. So this is where you emphasize a part of your graphic design in terms of color, shape, size, and so forth. These are direct indicators to the consumer, subconsciously telling them to do a certain thing such as subscribing or clicking something, or just simply bringing their attention to part of your design. Another method is to be consistent throughout the entire graphic design. People instinctively try to find patterns in things, including your graphic designs. So you want to use a running, consistent theme throughout the entire design, and this can be used through color, shape, layout, typography, and so forth. But this is going to bring comfort to the consumer because they can see and feel the consistent patterns within your design. Now, the opposite of this is called design dissonance. And this leaves the consumer feeling uncomfortable, which is really bad for sales and marketing in general. You are a manipulator, you are a professional, hired influencer and manipulator. You need to remember this because every single design you make needs to go back to the roots of what graphic design is, and that is visual communication. It's not just some fancy art and graphics. It needs to be highly intelligent, highly thought out, and it does need to tap into the psychological regions of the human mind. If you want to keep learning crucial skills for your graphic design career, go ahead and subscribe to my channel for weekly graphic design content. Make sure you have a great day and do come back for my next upload, which often is Monday, Wednesday and Friday every single week. But yeah, take care and design your future today. Peace.